What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. I really, really, really do. I hope you're doing everything you can to enjoy each and every moment. If possible, right? Like, it's not always easy, but there's silver linings nonetheless. And try to focus on them if you can, if things aren't great. And things aren't going to be great. There's going to be silver linings, and I think we should focus on them. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me go ahead and turn the chat on. Not that anybody's here, but in case anybody wants to join, nonetheless, there's a lot of course, there would be a lot of buzz going around about the solar eclipse. Now, this isn't the first solar eclipse that's ever happened. In fact, there was one 7 years ago. What's interesting is the absolute complete 180-degree turn from the way that they covered the first solar eclipse as opposed to the way that they're covering this one. And I don't think that's by accident by any means. For anybody that knows anything about the way that these people behave and how they use astrology or astronomy, but astrology really for them, and magic and all sorts of things to try and influence the future, have as much weight pushing on the events that may or may not occur as possible in hopes that they do. I'll wait for this is an important video, so I at least want, I don't know, maybe one or two people before I actually start getting into it. Because it's usually a sign how the video will do. If I only have maybe 2-3 viewers in the first 5 minutes, then I'll have like 40 to 50 views, and those probably are all like agents and DOJ people. But if it gets like 6-7, then I tend to leave it up. Looks like we got 2. We're 3 minutes in, so somebody throw something in the chat if you could. I'd appreciate it, just so I know everything's working, everything's good, and I don't gotta, jump through hoops and play the games. Kind of excited about this topic. I mean, not just excited about this topic. I'm excited about this event. I'm excited about what this event means and what this event starts. And if you're a true Christian, you should know damn well what it means. And I think instinctually, most people on this earth right now, deep in their soul, knows what it means. What does it mean? Let's talk about it. I want to start off with the good old book. A good book. We'll cover a couple of verses, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what potentially. What's up, Melissa? I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty good. It was a shitty day at work. Crazy day. But came home, seen my wife, and all that shit melts away. How are you doing? Who else we got in here? That's kind of rude, but thank you. What do we got? 2 people still? 3? 3 people and only 1 thumb up. That's not normal. Normally it's like 5 thumbs up and like 1 person. So if you guys don't mind, unless I'm like, if you don't, maybe I'll drop the ball. Maybe don't hit the thumbs up, right? You never know how this is going to turn out. Maybe this would be the worst live stream that you ever seen in your entire life, and you want to click a double thumbs down, but they don't have it. So click the thumbs down and then leave a nasty comment if that's the case. But if not, hit the thumbs up. So Luke 21, 25 through 33. Let's run through it. King James, of course. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations. Distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and waves roaring. And I gotta break it down like that, because so I watch these. I can't even call them. I can't even say the word. They're not who they claim to be. They're wolves in sheep's clothing, and they read the gospel, and it's blasphemous because they manipulate it. They manipulate what it says. They turn it around and they try to fit it so like basically they turn it all around to profit themselves or whatever agenda that they're pushing, and they leave out the substance of the actual message. And that's the tragedy. So I would not like to do that. I would actually like, when I go through these things, there's things that need to jump out at you, especially in the days that we're in. Let's go to 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Kind of like, wow, looks like we're headed there, right? All we need is one major upset, one very unpredictable event where, I don't know, maybe the governments, the forces, the elites of the world start cracking down. And then, well, men's hearts failing them for fear. What comes next? What do I do? How do I feed my family? Look what's going on with the farmer protests. How you think they're just going to let up, right? They're going to be like, no, you win. Carbon tax out the window. You guys go ahead. Nitrogen? No, as much as you want. They're never going to do that. What are the farmers going to do? They're not going to plant your crops. This is all fine and dandy for now, but this is designed. They know what they're doing. And unfortunately, is as admirable and understandable as it is to see these farmers protest against this is by design, and it is what they want them to do. They know that they can't continue under these ridiculous new dictates that have come from the top down, telling them that you need to abide by A, B, and C. That's just one of the many things that we are heading towards. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And I say you do, and I say it is. When they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. So likewise ye, when you see these things come to pass, know that the kingdom of God is at hand. So likewise, when you see these things come to pass, know that the kingdom of God is at hand. What's up with this solar eclipse? I've seen some very strange stories. Now, guys, I don't know if you remember, I made a post a while back about April and a bloodbath, right? Has anybody in the chat, anybody watching right now, do you know what I'm talking about? Did you see the post that I made? I don't know, a little over a month ago. I don't want you to forget that. And there's certain things that I can't, they're incorporated in the image, and maybe the image will make more sense after the fact, but that's unfortunate if that's the case. But one way or the other, it'll make sense. So let's move on. I love the way the mainstream media is covering this, because you can always learn an awful lot about listening to the mainstream media, right? And not, of course, nothing that they say is actually the truth. But what it is that they're saying is important to listen to, because it's clearly something that they want in your subconscious, that they want in the back of your mind. And when you see them marching in lockstep, when you see them all say the exact same thing over and over and over again, which I knew was going to happen. And I don't care if you believe me or not. That's kind of the proof's in the pudding type thing. The April 8th solar eclipse could impact power. Here's why. Wait, what are you saying? We just had a solar eclipse, and I was little, and we had another solar eclipse. I've been through 2 solar eclipses that were prominent solar eclipses, and never once was it mentioned. Now, solar flares and the radiation, none of that has anything to do with the solar eclipse. So the fact that there might be some type of like gamma ray or something that shit's BS. It's BS. There's nothing. The moon is so incredibly far away from the sun, according to their own numbers, right? If we're going to buy into what they tell us, then it is of no consequence. So why would the fact that the moon temporarily blocks out the rays from the sun have an, I mean, is it solar? Do we rely that much on solar power? I haven't read this article yet. So if they say it's solar power, and I just didn't happen to know that we have a tremendous amount of our infrastructure running on that type of energy, I guess we'll learn together. The upcoming solar eclipse on April 8th will darken the sky for millions as the moon passes in front of the sun. But the spectacle could also affect how much solar power gets generated. Oh, that is the direction they're going to go. So how... Come on, man. Are they really going to try this? Because one of my theories is, guys, I tend to be somewhat accurate about certain things. But there was 2 things in particular that never came to pass, that never really unfolded the way that I thought that they would. And both of them happened to do with the grid and the shutdown of it. And I honestly do think that it was mainly due to people and their awareness of the event. I think people were expecting it, and I think it's due to channels like mine and like many others that put out this information, right? Because I have a bunch of subscribers that I've never met, Who are they? Right? They're active. They're active subscribers. Who are they? They've never left a comment. I have no idea. I've never received an email or any type of information from them. Could it be possibly knowing that the NSA and the CIA exist, that there are just a bunch of people doing their job, gathering as much data as they possibly can, trying to figure out things, and then they start seeing a pattern, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, man, we got to take this up top. We got to take this to the boss. Hey, boss, I don't know if this is important. It seems like all these guys are starting to say this thing, talk about like how this attack on the grid is pre-planned, and maybe that'll put a pause on it, right? But solar eclipse, well, shit. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I honestly don't. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think we have anything to worry about during the solar eclipse. It's what's thereafter. It's what that marks. That's a good point. I have ways of finding out anyway. I'll get back to you on that. I'm sure one will pop in. The other two won't. And they like to keep it shut down, right? Now, this is already marked private. I make these open for the public, but automatically all my videos are deemed private the minute I go live. And then only after I'm done doing the live stream do I have to go into my YouTube studio and then change the settings back to public. These are things that should not have to be done if you're already, like, what's the point of me setting it if you're going to change it? You might as well just do what you're going to do and then ask me after. There we go, right? Right on schedule. No, I don't think you are. That's what I mean. There'll be one more that does, and then the rest won't. But this power outage stuff, it's ridiculous. And it doesn't stop there. We're talking about a solar eclipse here, guys. Now, think about history, right? Think about the ancients. Think about Mesopotamia, Samaria. What did they believe? What did they do during solar eclipses? How much blood traveled down them steps of the pyramids? And it's not just any solar eclipse. This solar eclipse is the final solar eclipse. This 7 years ago marked pre-tribulation is what I called it when I was making the videos. Pre-tribulation. And maybe Active Research has a lot of shit. Hopefully I can find out. I would love to go, if I had the time, I would love to just dive through and look at some of my old videos. When I tend to do that, well, I don't want to sound cocky. Map shows warnings for people to stock up on food ahead of solar eclipse. What are you talking about, Newsweek? This isn't the what? Oh, there's solar panels. We switched to green energy so much that now all of a sudden there's so much energy being dependent off these panels, and the not screw nighttime. No, it doesn't matter about when the fucking sun goes down. 3 minutes of darkness during the daytime is gonna wipe you out. That's what the mainstream media is trying to tell you. Now, granted, there's probably a massive fear campaign, and rightfully so, but it's the wrong type of fear to be having, because what comes next is the fear that we should be fearing. And that's God's glory is what we should be fearing. Not the glory, but the glory is for the good. And we're not so good. Well, clearly they want us. How do they know I'm going live? Is it? I would like to see the algorithm, the coding blocks that go into these. They're like the minute a person goes live, we put up a paywall. You don't think I've checked and like vetted these articles before? I don't necessarily read them, but I make sure they're going to work during my live stream. Because what would be the point otherwise, right? If I'm going to go, I don't subscribe to the New York Times. That's why I don't have a New York Times article up, because I know they're going to say, sorry, but these other ones are free to everybody, except the moment you go live. For me, and they're like, sorry, nonetheless. Oh, it doesn't matter. You don't, yeah, we're free, but if you want to do it now, you're going to have to pay. Cool. So what is the 7-year tribulation? One might ask. Well, let's cover some verses. Daniel 9:27. And he shall make a strong covenant with many for 1 week. Now keep in mind, a day is not a day. A day is a year, and a week is 7, right? We're talking about the Bible. And if you're not familiar with that, then learn. And a half of the week he shall put an end to sacrifice and offering, and on the wing of abomination shall come one who makes desolate, until the decreed end is poured out on the desolator. What does that mean? Let's read it one more time. He shall make a strong covenant, right? A bond. He should make a strong bond with many for 7 years. That was the pre-tribulation I was talking about 7 years ago. And for half of the week, for those 3.5 years, he shall put an end to sacrifice and offering. Right? We didn't see Kate Middleton come up missing in that time. And on the wing of abominations shall come one who makes desolate, until the decreed end is poured out on the desolator. Well, it'll make more sense. Let me go on. Daniel 7:25. He shall speak words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change the times and the law. And they shall be given into his hand for a time, times and a half a time. You got me? You tell me. Now, Revelations, that's my second language. And the beast was given a mouth uttering haughty and blasphemous words, and it was allowed to exercise authority for 42 months. Now, when they say months, they mean months. I know it's weird, but the way it is. Who are they talking about? What are they talking about? What is the 7 years? It just so happens I started this live stream off with specific verses for a reason, right? 7 years. There shall be signs with the sun and the moon and the stars. Don't forget the stars. They're coming too. And then what? And then what happens, right? The solar, well, they're making it awfully important. Clearly, they have some type of understanding. That's what, people often say, well, it doesn't matter if you believe it. They do. And they do because they know. And they know because they are the ones that own the Vatican, right? The basement of the Vatican, where all They have the Smithsonian. They have all of the records that have been buried and kept from humanity, from us knowing the truth of what happened, why we're here, what our purpose is, what's to come. Has been hidden from us, and they will try to remain in the shadows while keeping the knowledge from us just the same. But in the end times, all comes to light. Right? Everything that was once dark is now in light. You tell me. My goal is to spark curiosity in you. So you go looking. The answers are in the book. All you need to know, all of the information for where we are heading right now, is all there. The solutions, all of it. And we turn a cheek and keep going into this Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, I can't even exist in this. Like, luckily, I have a wonderful family that is grounded and not a part of this, whatever this is that's happening. And thank God for you as well. Right? You're here, you know, you understand. Not many do, but that's going to change. It's going to change abruptly for many, but there will still be so many ignorant. Matthew 24, 1 to 51. Jesus left the temple and was going away when his disciples came to point out to him the buildings of the temple. But he answered them, "You see all these, do you not? Truly I say to you, there will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down." As you think he's fucking around? As he sat on the Mount of Olives, of peace, as he sat, this is such a power. As he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming and at the end of the age?" And Jesus answered them, "See that no one leads you astray, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am Christ,' and they will lead many astray." You're about to see that. Kind of already, it's getting built. I just seen, and I'm not gonna tell you the name. I'd love to see it in the chat, but I just seen the first utterance of that just the other day, for the first one, the first of many, the first of three. Because you have kept my word. Revelation 3:10. Because you have kept my word about patient endurance, I will keep you from the hour of trial that is coming on the whole world, to try those who dwell on the earth. And what do they mean by who dwell on the earth? Well, what did Jesus say? Well, who are the people of the earth? Who is the ruler of this world? It certainly isn't God. No, it's not, right? It's Satan. It's Lucifer. It's this combination. It's the amalgamation of AI, all of the greatest technologies, the military industrial complex, big government, this beast system that is creating. That is what they're referring to. To try those who dwell on earth. Not in the heavenly kingdom, not in God's word, but they are a part of this. They like watching those TikToks with, you see them. I don't need to go in, right? all of this shit, all of this decay, of this rot that is destroying society, not by political people, not by people that have a stroke of a pen and enact laws. No, by principalities and powers, not flesh and blood. This is a spiritual war, and the sooner you wake up to it, the better that we. Who's going to wake up to that? No, because you are dwelling on the earth. That's why we won't wake up to it. Matthew 24:29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven will be shaken. I tried warning you. What do I have to say? Who am I but some dark corner conspiracy theorist on a shadow banned YouTube channel? Not for long. Not forever. Daniel 92, 4, 27. Sorry, 9:24, 27. 70 weeks are decreed about your people and your holy city to finish the transgressions, the bullshit that Israel is up to put an end to Syria, and to atone for iniquity. I can never say that word. Iniquity. To bring an everlasting righteousness, to seal both vision and prophet, and to anoint a most holy place. Know therefore and understand that from the going out of the word to restore to restore and build Jerusalem. Fuck, I can't talk. Sorry, guys. To restore and build Jerusalem to the coming of an anointed one. What are they doing? What is going on right now? Why does nobody know? No, we have no idea what's happening. We just know that Israel's pissed off and they're killing a bunch of people. Oh wait, it's Hamas, right? Everybody's telling me to hate to hate the Palestinians, to hate children, and like they should starve because Israel, I think, right? So let's do that then. Let's do that because that's probably the right way. I'm sure feel it in your heart. Where are people's hearts? It doesn't matter I have no sympathy for what's coming for them because they have the right, and it wouldn't befall them if they understood, if they knew, if they took a second and was like, yeah, this isn't right. The shit that I'm into right now, what I'm cheering for, bloodthirst, that's everywhere right now, and it's only going to get worse. People want the war that they have no idea what it means to them. And that's Israel. These are the chosen ones. It's the great deception is what it is, but we'll cross that bridge eventually. This is interesting. I'm going to keep reading, but it's not relevant at the moment. Then for 62 weeks it shall be built again with squares and a moat. What's that sound like? I'll tell you what it sounds like in a minute. But in troubled time, and after 62 weeks, an anointed one shall be cut off and shall have nothing. And the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. Its end shall come with a flood, and to the end there shall be war, desolations, and decreed, and he shall make a strong covenant with many for 1 week, which is 7 years, and for a half of the week, for 3.5 years, he shall put an end to the sacrifice and all. Well, didn't we already read that? Yeah. So what's the beginning saying? I got to read it again. Pay attention. Like, think outside of the box for a second. I can only say so much here. This is way above my pay grade. Then for 62 weeks it shall be built again with squares and a moat, but in a troubled time. And after the 62 weeks, an anointed one shall be cut off and shall have nothing. And the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. And wherever they go, right? Its end shall come with a flood. Does it necessarily mean a flood, or does it mean all at once? And to the end there shall be war, desolations are decreed, and he shall make a strong covenant with many for 7 years, or a week. And for a half of the week he shall put an end to the sacrifice and offering. So half of that we've already went through. Now, I don't want to sit here and read scripture to you all night, but it's important to understand some of this. And maybe this is all irrelevant right now, but it won't be for long. That's what you need to take home with you. These are, get right with God. That's it. Well, what's the mainstream media rambling on about, right? You guys seen some of this? Let's type it in. Bloodbath. Now, there's a reason. Now, guys, it's not about Trump. They're going to use these symbols of, it's a personification of the spirit. And what does, if you had to personify Trump as, he was not human, but he's a representation of the spirit, what would he represent? And why is it that they're attacking that? That's what you need to think. They're not direct, not analytical. They're not human. And they know the game, they know the mind, they know psychology. It's not even psychology to them. It's an operation mode. It's when I say AI, it does give it enough justice, I'll say, because we're just now getting into AI and we're thinking like, oh, this is a clever tool that people, no. This is your enemy. This is Lucifer that you're dealing with, but it's so far off, and nobody's going to make that connection yet. You will see it for yourself. It's only a matter of time. It's a while yet. And maybe you'll remember this one day. I don't know. I'm sure you will. Some of you. Hopefully you're sitting secure with a good amount of water and food in a bunker somewhere when that happens. Or you're right with God and you care not what happens at all. That would be my choice. Donald Trump doubles down on his deranged bloodbath comments. Let's read it. It goes on and on and on and on and on like this. Bloodbath, 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 bloodbath. It's magic. They know what they're doing. Words, say it be so. Say it be so. Donald Trump. Oh, do we get a video? I would love a video. Probably not. Maybe we could. Actually, I'm sure we can. Bloodbath is going so viral right now that there's no way I won't be able to type bloodbath in and get some current, up-to-date bloodbath information.
Really, he was 100% correct, and I think what he was saying at the rally reflects what most of the American people understand and believe. If these misguided policies of the Biden administration are allowed to continue, not only will we see a bloodbath in the auto industry, which we are seeing, we will see a bloodbath in our energy industry as well, and in all the other sectors of our economy too.
Get ready. It's collapsing. It's collapsing. This house of cards cannot stand for much longer. It's all been an illusion. And the only thing keeping it afloat was people's confidence in the system, which is gone. So the only thing holding it up now are phonies, are pieces of shit, are satanic demons that want nothing more than to see you in misery and own your soul as well. Which will, if you, they'll get it. Nine out of 10 of you, they'll get. Because you'll fall hook, line, and sinker for the terror, for the fear, for what it is that's coming, and buy into it and not look for the truth that has been spoken and read countless times. Do some soul searching. It's 2024 is gonna be a bumpy ride. But when we hit 2025, let's see what else they got for us. I don't know why it's all sideways, but I'll work with it. Dane Johnson. I don't know, I'm just going to click one so I don't have to keep... Oh, is this Ben Shapiro?
If you've ever voted for my father, I'm asking you to chip in $5, $10, or even $25 to his campaign today.
Donald Trump's best friends are in the legacy media. I don't mean that Donald Trump is friends with people in the legacy media. I mean, they are totally helping him. Members of the legacy media have been playing this incredibly stupid game since 2015. And the reason they play this game with Trump is because they play it all the time with other Republican politicians. The game goes like this. Donald Trump says something that uses a bit of inflammatory language in a completely non-inflammatory context. And the media then proceed to cut out the inflammatory language from the non-inflammatory context and then blow it up. Now, they've been doing this with Republicans since literally forever. For as long as I've been alive, they've been doing this with Republicans. The weird thing about doing it with Trump is Trump says wild things fairly frequently. They don't even have to do it with Trump. But by doing this, what they...
what? But what? But what, Ben? But this one's extra? But this one you want to focus on? Why is it? Tell me more.
End up doing is essentially showing the American public that they are willing to say or do anything about Donald Trump. Today's latest example comes courtesy of the entire legacy media that decided to jump on a clip of Donald Trump at a rally over the weekend. So Donald Trump was doing a political rally over the weekend. Again, the media are in a sheer state of panic about the 2024 race. They should be. According to the Real Clear Politics polling average, Donald Trump is currently...
What a joke. What a joke. Before we even listen to the rest of this jackass and what he has to say, what election? What election are you talking about, Ben?
Almost 2 points up in the national average. He's currently leading in every single battleground state. According to the Real Clear Politics polling average, Joe Biden is in deep trouble. And so they're looking for some sort of headline that is going to gin up the Democratic base. And so they have to find something that says that Donald Trump is a severe danger to the Republic, that he is going to overthrow the Republic, that there is going to be blood in the streets. After all, this is the case that Joe Biden has been making since 2020. The case since 2020 has been that Donald Trump isn't just a problem. He's
right. Don't forget it, because he's telling you, this guy is 100% operated and owned by the same people that own and run everything. So when he tells you something, acting like he's your friend, you should probably listen, but not in the way that he wants you to. Read between the lines.
A threat to the very nature of the Republic. When Joe Biden got up at Independence Hall and gave the worst speech I can remember.
Right, because what was he doing during that speech? Well, what did he call out? Oh, yeah, I remember. He called out a bunch of people that had a certain ideological belief, and that belief was freedom. That belief was holding, like, look what they're doing. Yeah, I make videos all the time talking about Christian nationalists, conspiracy theorists, right-wing extremists, people that understand and don't. They say right-wing extremists so they can bring us under an umbrella. That's what QAnon did a great job with, right? Was taking all of these so-called conspiracy theories, things that were absolutely true, and pushing them off to a sector under Donald Trump, right? Trying to demonize that. Fuck Donald Trump as far as I'm concerned. He's just as much of a piece of shit as and you'll find that out for yourself if you're still sucking on his toes. But time will tell. And my point of this whole thing is it doesn't matter who's in office. They're going to keep pushing whatever agenda, and they use each other, right? We know how the game's played. I don't got to sit here and try to, we know, right? It's like, for a quick example, just in case somebody's watching who don't, the crime, right? All these so-called left-wing cities, the democratic liberal cities, are letting crime run rampant. They're letting these people that have conducted the worst types of crimes on their fellow human beings, and they're letting them out with no bail, no bond, right back on the streets to do it again, right? So what happens next? Well, you get a right-wing extremist selected, like Trump, right? That's what they're labeling him as, like, right. Well, you get it. Get him, and what's he gonna do, right? Because now the base of the right wing, they're always like, oh, screw the left. And then now that the media has been showing through indirect and indirect ways how these cities are just shitholes, a shadow of them former selves. Somebody please save them. And they're all gung-ho about, if we just need to do this, could we do this? Could we get something to stop it? Well, if Trump were to be selected or elected, what would happen? Well, it would lay down a whole bunch of tyrannical, which people would be for, just like the Patriot Act. It's the exact same tactic as the Patriot Act, right? You get the problem, reaction, solution. You get the people, you create the problem. Problem is planes crashed into our Twin Towers. That's a problem. A bunch of people jumping out the windows, falling to their death. Pretty big problem. They know the reaction. What would be the reaction of people seeing that? We got to stop this. These damn terrorists. Let's get them. Right? They already have the solution. They know that's why they caused the problem. That's the Hegelian dialectic, just a small fridging of it, but that's how it works. And then they got you, and they get to pass. Oh, you guys want us to solve this problem? Oh, we got you. Look at this piece of legislation; it'll help you out. Yay! Yay! Let's pass it. What did it do for you? What has it done? What will it? I think it's literally the worst piece of legislation that was ever passed if we want to talk about freedom. It's absolutely the worst. But it passed with flying colors because 9/11 and people were in their feelings. That's kind of what Ben's saying here, but he's doing it in a little bit of a different way. He's talking, well, let me just play more before I say too much.
Standing in front of a blood-red Independence Hall suggesting that his political opponents were going to overthrow the democracy. This is the line that the entire media have been told to repeat over and over and over for the duration of this election cycle. And so they decided that over the weekend, they had found the golden ticket. They had found the clip of Donald Trump promising violence in the streets. There'll be blood in the streets tonight. The whole thing. So here is the full clip of Donald Trump talking. Here he is talking about the economic plans of Democrats with regard to industrial industries in Michigan. Here's the full clip.
Mexico has taken, over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it. Went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
How soon do you think we would know? When do you think we would find out that Trump wouldn't be able to run? It's going to be an interesting year nonetheless. Guys, I'm going to get wrapping it up, but before I do, not that you guys have been very participatory, but if there's anything you want to ask or anything you want to say, now would be the time, because I'm gonna get going here, and hopefully you do. Hopefully, how many people we even got in here? 5 for 5. I guess that's the best we can do. That's about right. I can't answer that right now. Sorry, Melissa. I know please. That's very rare where I won't be able to answer a question. Very, very rare. So, ask another, please. I know that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. But I appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not in a rush to get off. I definitely wanted to cover these things, guys, because this solar eclipse it's not to be overlooked. And don't pay any mind to the BS that the mainstream media is feeding you. Feel it in your heart, because you've been born with this knowledge inside of you. Yeah. No. The very beginning. The very beginning. Absolutely, Christy. I know that to be true. Yes, Melissa. That 7 years starts on that solar eclipse. We've been in a pre-tribulation period. Now, I don't think for 1 second that won't be celebrated by the sickest among us. I know it will be. And I know the way that they operate. And I would imagine some dark times. But if you truly know the Lord, and I'm not a gospel channel, right? I'm not here to preach. I'm just here to speak the truth. If you truly know the Lord, you have nothing to worry about. Not saying things will be easy, but they won't be impossible. Well, you stuck around long enough, because that's what's coming. I've waited myself quite a while, it seems. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you all have a good night. God bless. Much love. Peace.